Well, I've got a shiny new Craig bench here in my shop. Now I just need to figure out what I'm going to do with it. Welcome back, kids. I'm sure a lot of y'all figured out right away what the new Craig table was for. But this is the long-awaited Genmitsu CNC. They contacted me back in July asking me if I'd be interested in trying their CNC and making a couple of videos on it in exchange for them sending it to me for free. So after some back and forth, we agreed on that. And so finally, I'm getting started putting this thing together. It's been in the shop here for almost 6 weeks. I just haven't had time to get started on it. But today's the day. So sorry the box looks kind of ratty, but it's been moved in and out of this shop 100 times in the past 6 weeks. So let's open it up and see what's in here. All right, let's do this. And I promise you, I haven't taken anything out of this box. I just cut the bands on it before I started filming to make that go quicker. So first thing I got is user guide. All right, we got the drag chain assembly here and dust boot. Not sure what this is. No, that's the spindle. Sorry. All right. All right, so got a bag of pretty good looking clamps there. Wire. Oh, there's some bits. Wasn't expecting that. Not sure what that is. That's the touch probe. USB cord and paintbrush in case I want to paint it. All kinds of screws and stuff. So that's neatly put together. Some kind of mounting hardware. Wrenches. Allen wrenches. Not sure what that is. Thumb drive. And down here on this end, oh, the spindle mount, or in this case, router mount. Let's see, I gotta take this out first. This is the control box. Right there. If I can get to it. Boy, that joker's heavy too. That's more substantial than I was expecting. I'd have had to cut a lot of that foam away from it so I could get my hands under it. But how cool is that? That's the X gantry. See what this is. Under here, there's the motors, stepper motors. X, Y1, Y2. That's there. There's our Y rails. How cute. Ooh. All right, down at the bottom. Oh, okay, this is the wasteboard, T-tracks. Looks like that's what I got to do first, so I'll get this stuff out, get it over there on the Craig bench, start putting it together. All right, I've got my base support rails laid out here. 2 A's and B on each side. I've got my screws laid out there, ready to put in there. It uses 8 of them. So let me get this assembled. We'll move on. All right, let's get these started. Use the included Allen wrench. Just gonna snug them up right now. I'm not gonna tighten them down. Well, that last one just aligned itself, so you know it's square. Now it's time to install the front and back C rails. Got to turn this one around so the C faces the inside, because the opposite side here is where it has a cutout area, so the head of this screw will fit inside there. So there's no washers used for these. All right, now it's time to install the wasteboard slats. And one quick note, these fit together a certain way. You can see this piece here is a like male, and this one's female. And they just kind of interlock like that right there. So just keep that in mind when you're laying yours out, because if you don't do that, then your pre-drilled holes are not going to line up. So get her done. Slide this one over, let it interlock there. I'm going to go ahead and put the two on the other end of this one so they'll all be straight. Well, I tell you what, I'm having a
Oh, would you look at
little bit of
that?
an issue getting
Would
this
you
on
look
there,
at
but I
that?
just about got it.
Oh my
Several
gosh, just look
tries.
at it. Just look at it. Just look at it. Yeah, well. What the heck is that?
Well, YouTube may not be making me rich, but at least it is keeping me humble. In that previous segment, I was having all kinds of trouble with that side Y rail. And the reason being, I had these reversed. I had emailed Sainsmart last night. Of course, there's a big time difference between us and them. And I also posted on the Sainsmart Facebook group last night a little short video detailing my problem. And a fella named Rick Bennett was nice enough to come on there and correct me, and without, making me feel stupid, even though I already did. But yeah, so what I had to do was just move that one over here and this one over there. So for the record, the pretty side goes inside. The ball screws are on the outside, which now is totally common sense, but I don't know what I was thinking. But anyway, I've got everything bolted down except this side. I've got all the screws in there, but you got to leave these loose for now, and I'm not sure at what point we come back and address this, but these holes here are slotted on the right side Y rail. That's so that we can square up the machine later on in the process, and I'm not sure when that will be because I haven't got that far along in the book yet. But anyway, but that's coming, and I'm going to put all this nastiness behind me, and we're going to move on to the next step. swing this joker. Heavy. There it went. It just fits in that notched area there. Let me get some screws in there, and I'll go around the other side and do the same thing. Alright, this is the left side of the X gantry. So now it's time to install the stepper motor on the Y2 rail. Anyway, on the back of it you can see this is where the wires will connect, and there are the switches. I can't remember what those are called right now, but dip switches. Not sure if those are set right, but I'm sure we'll cover that later. But I'm going to install mine with the wires at the bottom, and you got to make sure that this interlocks with this part in here, and the red thing stays in there. It has to be there. Let's see how hard that's going to be. Oh, yeah, that ain't no problem. Slid right up on there. And we're using 4 by 16 millimeter screws here. I gotta hold your mouth right to get it on there, but it'll go. Alright. Alright, fixing to install the Z-axis. We got 4 screws here. And inside there, which, let's see if you can see that, down deep inside there, right there, there, and then down at the bottom, there are a couple more down there. You see those right there. So we got to line those up and hold it up here and do the best I can by myself. Just using this little crescent wrench to give me some leverage, torque that thing a little bit. Alright, we're going to do the spindle mount. The instructions show it in these bottom 4 holes here, so that's what I'm going to do. Alright, so they sent me a 710 watt spindle. Of course, comes with a long cord. They included extra brushes for it, which that's a nice touch. Let's just drop it in here. And the instruction book I'm looking at shows it mounted down as far as it'll go. Of course, we can change that later, but I'm going to raise mine up a little bit. Do it this way. So off camera, I went ahead and installed my drag chain brackets, and I'll show you that right quick. Alright, we're at the back left of the machine. There's the upper Y bracket, and there's the lower Y bracket. And up here is the X bracket. So I'm going to tighten these up, and then we're going to install that big old mess of a drag chain there. Okay, so it's the next day, and I made a big effort to video installing the drag chain, but that was a little more involved than I was anticipating, and I started out wrong, and anyway, trying to keep this video from being an hour long. So this is what I got, and I'm going to show you the tricks that I wish I had known when I started. First of all, you'll have this part here with the gray plastic sheath on it. Just know that goes to the back left of your table and your CNC. So what's coming immediately off of that is for the Y chain. And it's nothing to it. That's, once you get figured out what goes where, it's no big deal. But it was kind of counterintuitive to me. So anyway, I've got that done. Let me go down here and show you what I did. I run it under my table, and I had drilled those holes there in the torsion box kind of framework there, because that's where I had planned to run the cables through. And I did the same thing with my big table over there. But anyway, those holes weren't near big enough, so I just used wire ties to hold them in place there up against the bottom of the table. And then I come out over here, and I drilled a 1 3/4 hole up through the surface there, and that's where I come out to the control box, and I'll show you that in a little bit. But also around here for cable management, you have this one that goes from your right Y motor, which is the Y2 motor, and it comes out of this plastic sheet here. Well, instead of just letting this hang down, I routed mine underneath there, and it's not being pinched at all. It's real loose up in under there, because it's got that little foot there that keeps it up off of the table. So that'll always be there. I won't have to worry about that hanging down and looking bad and getting in the way. Up here, I'll show you this. On the X, pretty straightforward. Like I said, once you figure out which end goes where, that's you've won the battle. But it did take me a little bit to get that right. Just real simple. It's just laid up here on top of the X gantry. And over there, that is your X limit switch. And those little knobs that are screwed in there, that's what triggers that limit switch. I believe it's an inductive switch. Real similar to what's on the Onefinity. Here's the one for the left X. So it's just, so far, this thing it's coming together great, and it's a sturdy little machine. So I'm really anxious to get started actually trying to cut something with it. So that's the drag chain setup. Now I'm going to show you how I installed the control box and routed those wires. Okay, so I've got my wires run under the table, come up through this 1 3/4 hole, and I'm just going to let my control box going to live right here. And I'm doing this so it can all be neat and tidy. So I'm just going to continue on. There's no need in me droning on. Y'all can watch if you want to. Is it Y2 motor and Y2 signal? Okay, I've got the Y2 signal right here. Underneath here. With the little notches, so you have to wire it up on there so it plugs in. And we got Y1 motor and Y1 signal. And this power cord goes right here. There's the power switch We're going to turn it on and off. I don't really like this sticking out there to the side, but there's really nothing I can do about that. Now let's check out this wireless control kit for CNC router. So the idea behind this thing is it allows you to control your CNC from your phone, and that is a pretty cool idea. I was able to get it to hook to my Wi-Fi here out in the shop, and I downloaded the Genmitsu app that you need. However, I couldn't get the app to bring up the control panel after the Wi-Fi was connected. So I don't know what happened there, but I got tired of messing with it because I had to move on and finish this thing. So I will get back to that in a later video. All right, this is the moment we've been waiting for. We're fixing to try this thing out. Let me show you what I've got set up here in VCarve Pro. This is just going to be a simple test carve. The Genmitsu logo there is going to be a profile cut. I'm going to be using the Genmitsu 30-degree V-bit that they sent along with the machine. 0.05 cut depth. And close that. And on the oval that's around the Genmitsu there, let's open that up. Okay, this is a profile cut also, but I'm using an old Inventables 1/8" end mill that I had from way back in my X-Carve days. Still have several of those little Inventables 1/8" bits here in the shop. I don't use them very often or at all, but I'm glad I held on to them now. So we're just going to make cut this at 0.05, one pass on the line. Close that. And then I got an accuracy test down here. I'm not sure how this is going to work out, but I've got it in here anyway. What it is just a little teeny tiny 1/16 of an inch circle down here. And what I'm thinking about doing is just like homing the machine, cutting that little circle out, homing the machine again, and then just sending it to cut it, and just maybe do that a couple times and see how accurate it is as far as coming back to that exact same spot. So I have already saved these and I have sent them over to, well, I've saved them in their folder, and now I'm going to open up Candle, which is the G-Sender software that I'm using. It was recommended by Genmitsu. I have played with it for several hours trying to figure it out. I'm so ingrained into the Masso and Onefinity mindset. Uh, it I had to really, really, really regress and remember how to do some of this stuff. But I had never used Candle before. But I don't know. It's not too bad. It's just not a Masso. But anyway, that's fine. I didn't expect it to be. So what I'm going to do is go over here and let's load up some those tool paths. So open on the desktop, CNC files, and then I have a new folder here for the Genmitsu video test files. And these are the 3 files that we just looked at in VCarve Pro. First one we're going to run is the Genmitsu. So I'm going to go ahead and open that, and then you'll see it pop up right here in this little box. But I do need to set my XYZ first, and I'll show y'all that process. All right. You have several options over here for how you want to be able to jog the machine. And right here, I'm just going to move this down to like 500 since I'm pretty close to where I want to be anyway. And you just tap it down like that. I've got it set on continuous, which don't have to do that. And it came with a probe, but I haven't been able to figure out how to make it work yet. So today I'm just going to use the paper method and do it that way. But first I'm going to set my Z. Let's set this back to steps. We'll go 5mm steps. Oh, that was too much. Still learning, folks. Still learning. 1mm steps. And yeah. Well, I think that's about it right there. Go back up one time. Under. Yeah, that's grabbing right there. So I'm going to set the Z right here. Just 0 the Z. And I'm going to go up so I get my paper out of there. Then we're going to set this back to 5mm, and we're going to jog it over here to the corner of the board. That is close enough for me. All right, up here is where you 0 your X and Y. So I'm going to do that. So we have the X, Y, and Z set. All I have to do now is go down here and hit this send button. So let's go ahead and do that. 3, 2, 1, send. All right. Now I'm going to load up the, let's see, over here. That took 53 seconds. Now I'm going to load the next file, which will be that oval. Open. Right here, oval G code. Open that. All right, you can see the oval up there in that box. So I'm just going to hit send. All right, so now I'm going to load up that accuracy test. So open, accuracy test right here. And I'm just going to send it. That took a whopping 6 seconds. Okay, now I am going to home the machine, which we go somewhere up here, right there to the home button. This is all so new. Not near as fast as my Onefinity, but there may be a way to speed up that homing speed. I'm not there yet. I haven't figured that out yet. All right, so now I am just going to go back in here to Candle. And I think all I have to do is hit send again, and it should bring it right back to that same little 1/16 of an inch dot that I made, that we just cut. And I am going to hit seeing. We'll get a better view of it this time. I don't know about y'all, but that looked really, really, really good to me. We'll send it one more time. Torture test. Go home with it again. All right, it's home. Back in candle. I'm going to say that's as accurate as it would possibly ever need to be for me, a sign maker. Now, if you're doing metal work or something with this thing, I don't know, but that's at least I know it can come back and hit the same spot multiple times after homing. So I'm pretty pleased with that. All right, here's a quick look at the carving we just did. Looks really good. Except for the bullet hole right in the middle there. And look at that big ass bullet hole right there. Must have been a 44. Anyway, this is great. I'm really happy with how everything about this CNC. It really has surprised me. I had pretty low expectations, so to be honest, it didn't have to do much to really impress me, but it has really impressed me. This has just been a good experience, and I'm going to continue to work with this thing and figure it out because honestly, I'm pretty intrigued by the whole thing. Uh, I still don't know if I'm going to actually keep it, but it is easy to move around here in the shop, so hell, who knows? I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but I'm sure it'll eventually sell because I just don't need it. But it is as far as I can tell so far, it's a good CNC. But I am going to continue to use it, play with it, and learn more about it, and also learn the probing function and some other things that I hadn't quite figured out yet. So that's it. I hope y'all enjoyed this, and I know it's different from what I normally do, and I hope I didn't scare y'all. I'm not switching over to Genmitsu, but those folks sent that to me to test out and show to y'all fine folks, so that's what I did. And I'm probably going to do another video or two at some point. So till next time, thank y'all so much for watching. I'll see you on the next video.